Hello, my RUSD friends. I'm excited to talk to you today about our strengths. In this week, we are focusing on telling empowering stories as a way to bolster our resilience, and strengths plays really beautifully into that practice. So when you begin to become aware of your strengths and practice using them, you also learn about the specific needs that each of our strengths has. For example, if you are high in consistency or discipline, you might really need routines, structure, and leadership that also has routines and structures. And if you work with someone who is maybe really high in adaptability and you don't have those routines and structures in place because their style is more dependent on having the pressure to get things done, there can be a clash of personality types and needs not being met. But when we can become aware of our strengths, which are beautiful and powerful and provide us with the ultimate exponential impact in whatever our purpose is, we also can become aware of the stories that manifest from those needs sometimes not being met, and then we can rewrite them in more powerful ways, because everybody has needs that they are trying to meet, and everybody is working from a heart-centered place, especially in education and especially in Riverside Unified. So one of my top strengths is ideation. A need for ideation is to be able to explore or express your ideas or creativity without restriction or inhibition. And if I am in a meeting where we're brainstorming possibilities or new ideas or creating something, that is my bread and butter. My ideation is so happy because it can play all day long. But if I'm in a meeting where we're trying to go into strategizing the rollout of a program, I need to learn to dial that ideation back, not because it's not valuable, but it's just not appropriate in that setting when now we're trying to lay the pieces in place and get it going. So if I'm in a meeting and I'm not aware of that and we're trying to build out the rollout and I just keep shooting out ideas at people, the people who are participating, who are my colleagues, could feel frustration, annoyance, aggravation, because this crazy lady just keeps shouting out new ideas, and we are not in that phase anymore. We're trying to now get these things done and in place. Also, if I sense that frustration, if I feel like, man, they're not even responding to my cool ideas or not listening, the story that can build around that is, I don't belong here, they don't respect me, I'm not valued, why do I even try? So if I'm aware that that's a need that strength has, then I can really be unabashedly free when it's appropriate to use it, because really it's a service and a benefit to my team when used in appropriate situations. When I am in a meeting and my ideation would love to participate, but I'm aware it may be not the time or place, I can be really strategic or intentional about jotting down those ideas that excite me and then save them for a time when it really is appropriate. And then I don't have to go into story about my colleagues, about how they may or may not value me or what their response to me is. So the practice this week is to tune in to your needs associated with your specific strengths, your top 5. And if you don't know your strengths, you can even scan down and I bet you could pick out a few of them. Also, send out to you with our wellness message this week is a document that specifically lists those strengths and has you write down what are your expectations of other people. So again, going back to that idea of discipline really like structure and routines. If you're high in discipline, you might assume that everybody should be high in discipline, but everybody isn't. And so how can you become aware of that story, and then how can that story ultimately be a disservice to you and your team? And those stories that we create are based out of our assumptions and our own perceptions, and ultimately if they're not healthful or helpful stories, they create more division and suffering. You might be able to hear the division and suffering of my children inside as they battle each other. This is life working from home. Anyway, feel free to reach out to me, DM Twist via email at riversideunified.org if you have questions, or if you would like to be paired with one of our Gallup certified strengths coaches within the district and explore this idea further. This is a free service to you as an employee of Riverside Unified, and we have a whole team of amazing coaches who would love to work with you. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to hearing about how it goes for you practicing telling empowering stories and learning the stories associated with your own needs and your strengths. Take care.